The receipt sat on the table like a silent judgment. Zero, not a single dollar. Just an empty space where generosity was supposed to be. For Elena Marie Thompson, standing amid the clatter of dishes and the warm scent of fresh pie in a crowded little cafe, that blank line weighed more than the long hours she'd already put in. She drew in a steady breath, grounding herself, because this wasn't merely about the money. It was one more quiet proof that life seldom offered breaks to those who were already hanging on by a thread. Before we dive further into Elena's journey, if you believe in compassion, unexpected second chances, and the gentle strength of choosing kindness, please take a second to like this video, drop a comment, share it with someone who could use a spark of hope today, and subscribe for more stories like this. And let us know in the comments, where are you tuning in from today? Elena was 28, a single mom fighting to keep her world from unraveling one overdue notice at a time. She pulled double shifts at a small family-owned cafe on the edge of Willow Creek, a place that felt caught between fading and forgotten. Her days started in the dark, preparing a lunchbox with fruit and a favorite storybook for her 5-year-old son, who stayed with a trusted neighbor, while Elena served endless cups of coffee to people who seldom remembered her face. She carried fatigue like an invisible layer beneath her uniform, sewn into every tired seam. That particular afternoon dragged on endlessly. The midday crowd melted into the late hours, and then he arrived. No fanfare, no grand entrance, but the air in the room seemed to shift the moment he stepped through the door. He wore a well-cut jacket, moved with calm confidence, and spoke with soft, measured words. His name appeared later on the receipt, Nathan Caldwell, a name Elena didn't know, though it carried weight in many circles. A successful entrepreneur, though she wouldn't discover that until much later. Elena served him the same way she served everyone. She topped off his coffee without being asked, delivered his order precisely as requested, and checked back a little more often because something in his thoughtful, faraway look made her wonder if he needed anything more. He gave a small nod, murmured a quiet thank you, and ate without hurry. When he was done, he aligned his fork and knife neatly, stood, and walked out without a backward glance. When Elena went to clear the booth, she saw the receipt, total paid, tip $0. Her stomach tightened, not with bitterness, but with that all-too-familiar ache. She pictured the stack of bills waiting at home, the shoes her son had outgrown, the rent payment looming in just over a week. She swallowed, telling herself that kindness didn't keep score. She wiped the table with care, gathering the dishes, when her hand paused. The plate resisted slightly. Something was underneath. She lifted it slowly, and there it was, a folded slip of paper tucked discreetly beneath the rim. Her first name was written on the outside in neat, deliberate script. Nothing else. No hint of what it might be. Her pulse quickened, not from alarm, but from a fragile, almost reverent curiosity. She waited until the noise in the cafe eased before unfolding it, fingers unsteady. The note inside was plain and direct. It mentioned how she'd noticed the small things, how she kept a tiny toy car in her apron pocket for restless children, how she offered a warm word to every weary face that came through the door, how she carried herself with quiet grace even on the hardest days. It closed with a line that stole her breath and forced her to sink into the booth. "This isn't a tip, it's a beginning." Behind the note lay a business card and a folded check. The amount wasn't flashy, but it was precise, enough to catch up on rent, cover daycare for months, and leave a small cushion, enough to let her exhale fully for the first time in ages. More than that, the card carried an invitation, call if she wished. No strings, no demands, simply an open door. Elena drove home that evening in a daze. She hugged her son a little tighter as he told her about the tower he'd built at the neighbor's house, and for the first time in a long while, she felt something new stirring inside her. Hope, fragile but real. The next morning, after dropping him off, she sat in her car outside the cafe for almost half an hour, staring at the phone before finally pressing the number. The voice on the other end was patient. They listened without interrupting. Weeks turned into months. Elena didn't walk away from her job overnight. She learned that Nathan Caldwell supported initiatives for everyday people with untapped potential, emphasizing self-reliance and dignity over charity. The note hadn't been a handout, it had been an observation. A quiet test of awareness. Would she see what so many overlooked? She had, with guidance, skill-building support, and connections she never thought possible, Elena uncovered a natural talent for management and community building. The cafe's owner saw the change too, gradually giving her more duties. Over time, with steady encouragement and a small investment from the program, Elena helped revamp the cafe, updating the menu, creating family-friendly hours, and turning it into a true gathering place that began employing other single parents balancing life and work. Years later, Elena stood in that same cafe, now warmer, more vibrant, alive with conversation and the aroma of homemade soup. Her son sat at a corner table with his books, secure and proud. Nathan stopped by once a year, always taking the same booth, always leaving no tip, just a simple note. Each one gently reminded Elena that real change rarely arrives with noise or fanfare. Often, it slips in quietly, hidden beneath an ordinary plate, waiting for someone observant enough to lift it. If this story moved you even a little, please take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs to believe in kindness again, and subscribe to keep these stories coming. Your support allows moments like this to reach the people who need them most. Before we close, we have one small request. In the comments below, share just one word that captures how this story made you feel, and tell us where you're watching from. Your thoughts mean more than you realize, because sometimes what appears to be nothing at all can quietly become everything.